This is multiplying fractions with whole numbers. It is chapter 7 in our math books. We have learned that when sometimes we have words that mean operation symbols. For example, a decimal, we use the word and. In math, the word of means to multiply. So today we are going to multiply a fraction by a whole number. 4/5 of 20 is 4/5 times 20. Step number 1. We must make the whole number into a fraction. Step number 1 is make our whole number into a fraction. We do that by placing it over 1. Because it won't change its value. If we place the whole number 20 over 1, we get an improper fraction. To reduce or simplify that improper fraction, we divide the denominator into the numerator. And 20 divided by 1 is 20, which gives us our whole number again. So 20 over 1 is equivalent to the whole number 20. All right, so when we are multiplying a fraction times a whole number, step number 1 is to put the whole number over 1. That gives us an equivalent fraction to the whole number 20. Step number 2. We multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. We multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. The numerators, so 4 times 20 is 80. And 5 times 1, that's my denominators, is 5. That gives us an answer of 80 over 5. Okay, so 4/5 of 20 is 80 over 5. Step number 3. We must simplify, reduce. Remember, those are the same words. We must simplify or reduce our answer. We have an improper fraction. So to simplify an improper fraction, we divide the denominator into the numerator. 80 divided by 5 is 16. So 4/5 of 20 is 16. Remember, the word of in math means to multiply. When we are multiplying a fraction times a whole number, step number 1, we put the whole number over a 1. And then step number 2, we multiply the numerators. 4 times 20 is 80. We multiply the denominators. 5 times 1 is 5. Step number 3, we see if we can simplify or reduce. 80 over 5 reduces to 16. Okay, let's work another one just for practice. Let's do 2/3 of 18. 2/3 of 18. All right, again, the word of means to multiply when we are doing math. Step number 1 is we are going to multiply our fraction by our whole number, and to make that whole number a fraction, we put it over 1. Remember that when 18 is reduced, 1 goes into 18 times, so that means 18 over 1 is equivalent to 18. Step number 2, we multiply our numerators, and then we multiply our denominators. 2 times 18 is 36, and 3 times 1 is 3. Step number 3, we see if we can simplify or reduce that answer. And we have an improper fraction. An improper fraction is when the numerator is larger than the denominator. So we divide our denominator into our numerator. 36 divided by 3 is 12. So 2/3 of 18 is 12. I want to do one more with you. Let's see what 5/12 of 4 would be. 5/12 of 4. Remember, the word of means to multiply. So it is 5/12 times, or of. Step number 1, we make our whole number into a fraction. We do that by placing it over 1. Step number 2, we multiply our numerators, and then we multiply our denominators. 5 times 4 is 20. And 12 times 1 is 12. Step number 3, we must see if we can simplify or reduce our answer. 20 over 12. Well, we have an improper fraction, so we have to divide the denominator into the numerator. 12 will go into 20 one time. We keep our denominator the same, and we see how many are left over. If 12 goes into 20 one time, then we have 8 left over, because 20 minus 12 is 8. And then we want to be sure and look and see if that would reduce even further. And it will, because 8 and 12 both have a common factor that will go into them. And that is 4. 4 goes into 8 2 times. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 5/12 of 4 is 1 2/3. And that is how you multiply fractions with whole numbers.